Have you seen this diagram before? It is known as MyPlate, and it's a visual guide to healthy eating that was created by the United States Department of Agriculture to help people make informed choices about what to eat. MyPlate was made in an attempt to create a more encompassing guide to healthy eating that replaces the previous one known as Food Pyramid. But this new guide also has some flaws, one of which is that it presumes that all proteins are the same, whereas in reality, not all proteins are the same. Some are healthy and can be consumed in moderation, while some are unhealthy and should be limited or totally avoided. In this video, we'll be explaining the difference between healthy and unhealthy proteins, and we'll also shed light on the food sources of both. But first, have you subscribed to Nutrita yet? We help you make the right decision about what to eat and how to eat for good health by sharing scientifically accurate food tips and facts. Kindly subscribe now and turn on the notification bell so you will know whenever we upload a new video. And remember to drop us a like. Okay, let's get back. MyPlate suggests that a healthy plate should contain 4 different food groups in different proportions. According to the diagram, vegetables should occupy the highest proportion, followed by grains, then followed by fruits and protein. And in addition to this, MyPlate also recommends adding a small serving of dairy to the meal. But there are some flaws in this guide. For one, this simple diagram does not make a distinction between the different types of foods that fall into each category. For example, following the idea that vegetables are healthy and should occupy the most part of the plate, one may assume that since potato is a vegetable, eating a lot of fried potatoes in one sitting might be healthy. But that's very far from the truth, as not every vegetable is the same. And the same goes for fruits, grains, and proteins. And it's for this reason that nutrition experts at the Harvard School of Public Health redesigned MyPlate and came up with a more encompassing guide known as Healthy Eating Plate. The Healthy Eating Plate highlights the healthy types of foods from each food group that are essential to promoting good health. For example, instead of just grains, it was adjusted to whole grains. And instead of proteins, you have it as healthy proteins. And that strengthens the idea that not all sources of protein are created equal. So let's discuss healthy versus unhealthy protein. But first, what is protein? Protein is one of the 3 macronutrients that our body needs for growth, repair, and maintenance of tissues. Protein is found throughout the body, from your muscles to your bones, to your skin, your hair, and virtually every other body part or tissue. There are at least 10,000 different proteins that make you what you are and keep you that way. And each individual protein is made up of smaller units called amino acids, which are linked together in a specific sequence to form long chain. There are 20 different types of amino acids that can be combined in different sequences to form proteins. And the different sequence of these amino acids is what determines the unique structure and function of each protein they form. As we've said earlier, that proteins are found throughout the body. They equally perform several functions that are important for keeping us healthy, such as they build and repair all the body tissues, including the muscles, bones, and skin. They act as enzymes that speed up chemical reactions in the body. They act as hormones that regulate various bodily functions, such as insulin, which regulates blood glucose level. They facilitate transportation of certain nutrients throughout the body, such as hemoglobin, which is the primary transporter of oxygen that's present in the blood. They perform immune system functions, as they are the antibodies that help to identify and neutralize harmful pathogens in the body. Now, a question that should follow is, how much protein do I need to consume to support all these functions? The National Academy of Medicine recommends that adults get a minimum of 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight per day. This means that if you weigh about 50 kilograms, then you should aim to consume at least 40 grams of protein daily. And if you weigh 60 kilograms, your aim should be about 48 grams of protein daily. However, consuming that amount is less of a challenge for most people. In fact, it's been found that majority of adults in the US are consuming more than enough protein. But despite that, the health status of most people is far less than optimal. And that's because most of the protein people consume come from less healthy sources. And that's why it's important to understand the statement, not all food sources of protein are created equal. You see, when you eat foods for protein, you also eat every other nutrient and non-nutrient compounds that come with the food, which include the different types of fats, such as saturated, unsaturated, and trans fats, the different types of carbohydrates, which are sugar, starches, and fiber, and the different vitamins and minerals, such as sodium, potassium, and much more. It is the types and quantities of other components of each food source of protein that determines which food source of protein is healthy and which is unhealthy. Some sources may contain an adequate amount of protein, but because they also contain an unhealthy quantity of other nutrients, they are better described as less healthy source of protein and should be eaten in moderation or totally avoided. An example is processed meat such as hot dog, which can have high amounts of sodium, saturated fat, and preservatives, alongside the high protein content. Another example is a 4-ounce ham steak, which, although has about 22 grams of protein and just 1.6 grams of saturated fat, it is loaded with 1,500 milligrams of sodium, which is about exactly what you should be consuming per day. Now imagine if that amount of food provides such amounts of sodium. That means eating more of such food would overload your system with unnecessary amounts of sodium. And that could have negative impacts on the health if eaten regularly. On the other hand, healthy sources of protein are those that come from foods that are low in unhealthy fats, sugar, and sodium, and are high in other essential nutrients such as healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. These sources of protein provide your body with the necessary nutrients for optimal health without the added negative effects of unhealthy components. And the best way to get enough healthy protein is to consume a variety of food sources of protein, including plant-based sources such as beans, nuts, and whole grains, as well as animal sources like fish, poultry, and lean meat. Better still, here are some tips to incorporating healthy sources of protein into your diet. 1. Opt for plant-based protein sources whenever possible. Consuming a variety of plant-based healthy protein is not only beneficial for your health, but it also helps protect the environment. So ensure that you obtain all the essential components of protein from plant-based sources. Include different categories such as legumes, nuts and seeds, whole grains, and protein-rich vegetables and fruits such as broccoli, corn, and asparagus. 2. Include healthy sources of animal protein. When it comes to animal-based foods, the best sources of protein seems to be poultry, a variety of seafoods, eggs, and dairy products in moderation. 3. Eat a little less red meats. This include beef, lamb, mutton, and goat meat. Consider eating this meat in moderation, or eat them only once in a while, such as on special occasions. 4. Avoid processed meats such as bacon, hot dogs, and sausages. In summary, not all proteins are the same. While it's important to eat enough protein daily, it's more important to focus on healthy sources of protein, which not only supply you with the essential amino acid, but also supply other beneficial nutrients that promote overall health and well-being. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, then give this video a like and share with others so they will enjoy it too. And be sure to watch other videos on our channel to learn more about how your foods can help you get healthier.